Welcome to Movie Oubliette, the film review podcast for movies that most people have mercifully forgotten.
I'm Dan.
And I'm Conrad, and in each episode, we drag a forsaken film out of the oubliette,
Discuss it and judge it to decide whether it should be set free
or whether it should be thrown back and consigned to oblivion forever. We review the films others tend to forget. Come with us and open up the movie oubliette.
Hello listeners and welcome to episode 183 of Movie Oubliette, the globe-spanning podcast with me, Dan, going on long walks in Melbourne, Australia.
And me, Isaac, filling in for Conrad and dog-sitting in San Antonio, Texas.
In this podcast, we discuss horror, sci-fi, and fantasy movies you'd long forgotten about because a dream weekend involves staying at a quaint vacation house equipped with a swimming pool, parallel dimension guest house, and doppelgangers. Hello, Isaac.
Hey, good to see you again.
Just quickly, listeners, Isaac is a long-term friend and our social media extraordinaire for the podcast. Thanks for filling in for Conrad. He's gallivanting in Toronto right now at TIFF. I'm very jealous, but how are you, Isaac? How's it going?
I'm doing good. I've been seeing the TIFF pictures too. I've been super jealous.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm, like I said, just watching over the current house that I am staying at. There are 3 dogs and 6 cats. So that's
wow.
I'm looking after a zoo this weekend.
6 cats. That's a lot of cats.
Yep. It's Lucky, Mr. Scruffles. I'm not going to list them all. That'll take too long.
Wow.
But they're sweet animals, so I'm lucked out in that way. None of them are bad, poorly behaved.
Yeah. What's feeding time like?
You know what? It's a little chaotic. I will say they like their food. The cats are cats, right? They just kind of stand off. And the dogs, like, if you say mind your manners, they'll mind their manners. But
yes.
they're hungry. They're little piggies.
Oh, it's great. That's great. All right, I guess we'll move on to mailbag for today. I've just got quite a few comments from people. So on TikTok, we had a few comments about Secret of Nim. Foxamu said, still one of my favorite flicks of all time. Conan said, I haven't seen this movie since I was 6. Holy nostalgia. So a lot of love for the Secret of Nim. So we also got a comment from Jasmine on Patreon about The Hidden 2, which was one of our Patreon bonus episodes. She said, I did not get a chance to comment on the main episode's thread about Hidden 1. Had I done so, I would have mentioned this sequel and for everyone to stay far away from it for all that is holy. When I caught the first movie on late night TV in the mid-90s, I loved it to pieces. When a few weeks later I walked into the video rental store and saw that a sequel existed, I was elated and grabbed it right away as one of the first movies I ever rented. And oh, what an introduction to the shady world of direct-to-video sequels it was.
They got some rough ones out there.
Yeah. Got a message from Ver1605 on YouTube about Let's Scare Jessica to Death. They said, I saw this horror gem on television as a child in the 70s. It was terrifying and traumatizing to say the least. Seems like this reaction was pretty standard for everyone in my generation who saw it at the time. Great episode, gentlemen.
Yeah, I like that one. That was a cool episode, cool experience.
Yeah, it was a hidden gem. I had a message from Brandon Ginsberg on YouTube under our Superman Returns episode. He said, speaking of overt soda logo visibility in movies, as I recall in the Jackie Chan movie, Mr. Nice Guy, there's a chase scene in some downtown area in which 100 or so Pepsi cans get thrown about. Fun fact about Mr. Nice Guy, that's actually filmed in Melbourne, where I live.
No way, really?
Yeah. And it's really funny because it's just so Australian to me And anyone that lives in Melbourne, he goes through Melbourne Central and Swanston Street, and it's really funny. And I think it's supposed to be set in America somewhere.
I've never seen it, but I've heard so many things about Mr. Nice Guy, but that is not one of them. So I gotta add it to my film lexicon for sure.
Yeah, it's really good. A really good Jackie Chan movie. It's classic like comedy action. It's really good.
Awesome.
We got a comment from Nick Hardy talking about my hatred of characters in movies clearly not playing their musical instruments. And he said, as a guitarist in a band, I, like Dan, find actors playing instruments in movies really annoying too. Notable exceptions I can think of, though, would be Michael J. Fox in Back to the Future, who I believe can play a bit, and Ralph Macchio in Crossroads. His guitar duel with the legendary Steve Vai at the end of the film is impressively done. Yeah, the scene in Back to the Future is pretty epic. It's good.
Oh yeah, it's a Stone Cold classic. Are you kidding?
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, when they get it right, it's like that's amazing.
You ascend to a new plane.
Yeah. Finally, we got a message from Serge from Cold Crash Pictures. Hello, Serge.
Hey, Serge.
And he said, talking about Let's Scare Jessica to Death, he says, I don't usually go for vibes-based horror, but Let's Scare Jessica to Death really worked for me. It's lean, focused, and doesn't get any more complicated than its mandate, which is to basically just replicate the same creepy feeling the protagonist is experiencing in the mind of the viewer. And then he says, y'all should do Seven Samurai next for similar reasons. I haven't seen Seven Samurai. It's one of those like classics that I just haven't seen.
Y'all really should do Seven Samurai. Except for a bonus episode.
Yeah. Well, anyway, thanks, listeners, for getting in touch. It's been really great seeing your comments. All right, Isaac, it's time to move on to the episode for today, the movie. What are we doing?
Let me go ahead and walk into the old Oubliette, grab whatever's down there, shall we?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
you stay
Please
here. I'll be right back. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Stay right here. Oh, hi, Isaac.
Wait, weren't you just? You were right over here.
Just doing some sit-ups here. Just gotta keep it pumped.
So hey man, fair enough. Whatever you gotta do. I'm just gonna take this movie here.
I've got some bacon on the stove.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Wow, is this weird for you now?
Oh, welcome back, Isaac. Who was that in the Oubliette?
Were you just? Let's just get into the episode. I'm getting confused.
Yeah. So what do we have today?
Directed by Charlie McDowell, this movie is called The One I Love.
Ah.
So Ethan, played by Mark Duplass, and Sophie, played by Elisabeth Moss, are having marital troubles in this movie. They constantly fight and nitpick at each other. Even counseling seems like it's not going well. In a Hail Mary pass, their therapist sends them on a rejuvenating getaway weekend. But when they're just starting to get into that relaxation mindset, they learn that some fucking weird Twilight Zone shit is going on in the guest house. Now in a relationship pressure cooker filled with mystical doppelgangers, betrayal, and a weird game of Texas Hold'em, will their drama leave them stronger or split them apart? Find out after the break.
Ooh, yeah. Okay, we are back to talk about The One I Love. Isaac, you chose this movie. I just want to say we should talk about like pre-reveal twist and then post-reveal twist. But you chose this movie. What's your sort of history of it? When did you see it? Why did you see it?
For sure. So I watched this movie when I was a senior in high school for the first time back in 2014 when it came out. I was very much like, I knew I wanted to be a director. I knew I wanted to be a filmmaker. And I was looking for all the Sundance kids.
Oh, yes.
And especially the sci-fi Sundance kids, because I was and am a sci-fi obsessive, as some of the people on the pod may know. So I was into like The Robot and Frank, and y'all did Coherence. I love Coherence. Yes. Lots of like great little sci-fi indie gems. Safety Not Guaranteed, also with Mark Duplass. But I really, really liked this movie specifically, and it stuck with me for like a lot of reasons. I think in part because so many movies and TV shows and stuff have come out after it that have very similar vibes and themes, right? Like 2014, y'all have mentioned, was definitely the year of the doppelganger, but 2025, there's like a million doppelgangers again. We're re-doppelganging.
Right,
like there's
right.
Severance, Sinners Got Twins, Mickey 17, Twinless, A Different Man.
Right. Yeah.
Like there's a ton of doppelganger movies in the zeitgeist right now. And then also like I think a lot of horror movies out there that are getting made are all like basically shitty relationship movies with a supernatural twist. Right? So like the Midsommars of the world, Companion. There's that new movie Together with Alison Brie and James Franco.
I saw that. Yeah.
It's so like
it's good.
I like that one a lot too. I love Together, and I think that this movie has kind of a very similar. It's got a similar vibe, right?
Yeah.
And it was made a decade earlier. So I think it's an interesting case, and I want to talk about it.
Because this is a first watch for me. Like you bringing it to the podcast was like, oh, I've never seen this. It's been kind of been on my list. It has been mentioned alongside with Coherence, and I do feel like they're quite similar in terms of just doppelgangers, and also being really quite low budget indie movies, hardly any characters, one location. And just like seeing how that goes. And also I did hear that this was mostly improvised, or a lot of improvisation in this movie with the dialogue.
It seems like the script was kind of just like roughed out. Like they had the structural bones of the script, but none of the dialogue was written. I listened to a behind the scenes interview with the writer director, and they were saying that they wrote out everything in terms of just basically like scene structures and story beats, and then we're just having them improvise on the day. But then they were having problems where the improvisation would go on for too long, and they were starting to lose the pacing of it a little bit. So they like scripted it out just a little bit more so that they'd be like, okay, well, this scene's gonna be like 20 seconds. So you gotta find that moment. But it does seem like mostly improvised, like mostly. It's got a very naturalistic feel.
That's what I like about it. Like it is very indie movie. Like apart from the sort of sci-fi element of it, it is very indie. It's very, it feels like real conversations. It doesn't feel like one-liners or like the things that you would only hear in a movie. Like it feels like a real relationship between Mark Duplass's character and Elisabeth Moss. What's their names? Ethan and Sophie. Yeah. It feels like a real relationship. It feels like these are real spats that they're having. That
some
you
of
would
them
hear.
are very uncomfortable as well. Like you watch how much they kind of have this disdain for each other, and it doesn't always make sense, especially on the first little go around. I feel like the more I have watched this movie, the more I have appreciated them as characters and not just been like, these people are toxic. You know?
I mean, they are as well. Like they're not. They're both flawed. There's no good one and bad one. Like they're both flawed. Obviously, Ethan sort of more on the sort of face value. Like he's not a great husband. He cheats on her. No. He doesn't seem to want to make their marriage work. It's a married couple that are having problems with their relationship. They're trying to rekindle their love for each other, and then they get sent to this retreat, vacation, holiday house, and then they see these doppelgangers, which is like I love these kind of like, it's like a really simple premise that's really weird. Like it's really strange. So they go to this guest house one by one. It hits you with
it fast too. Like I feel like another movie would have danced around the edges a little bit and like teased you with a doppelganger reveal, but you see the doppelgangers like probably 10 minutes in, they're, and then you're playing doppelganger games for the next hour and a half, and it's short too. Like it hits you with all the things you want it to hit you with pretty quickly.
Yeah, they explore the premise really well. Like the fact that you've got this guest house So I'm going to go into it with my interpretation of the movie before the reveal. So I thought it was like either a portal or some sort of like parallel reality guest house where they walk in. Ethan walks in and he sees a parallel version of Sophie, his wife. And when Sophie goes in, she sees a parallel sort of clone version of Ethan, her husband. But they're different. Like they're the kind of, I guess they're like supposed to be
the idea of their spouse.
Yeah,
almost.
like
like it's like their idealized. It's like what they want out of their spouse. They see when they go into the guest house.
Yeah. So you have Ethan, his ideal Sophie, I guess, is just like a Stepford wife, I guess. Like she's just making bacon
dinner.
She's just like in the kitchen. She wants to make him mojitos. She's like very subservient to him, which is like, is that what he wants? And for Sophie, Ethan is really understanding and considerate and listens to her. He's like fun. He's not so serious. And it's interesting how they've portrayed their clones, because there are like clear differences in how they present themselves, like physically and in their behavior as well.
Yeah. Ethan famously has shaggy surfer hair.
Yeah.
Is what they describe it as in the movie, which I don't buy at all.
Yeah, no.
But he's like working on himself, you know, he's like doing crunches. He's he's like hitting her with zingers. He's emotionally very vulnerable and open, and you know, his doppelganger is all about like almost like trying to confront reality in a healthy way is almost what it seems like, right? Like that's really kind of the stuff that she wants from Ethan. And then alternate Sophie is like just basically like willing to do whatever this guy says. Like I kind of hate Ethan.
Yeah.
He really we don't get to spend as much time with duplicate Sophie because we spend so much time understanding duplicate Ethan. And duplicate Sophie, I just think in part of the fact that she doesn't have a lot of runtime also means we don't really get to understand who she is and her motivations, right? Because I think more than anything, what you get from duplicate Sophie is that she loves her husband.
Yes.
Right? And is willing to do anything for him.
Yeah. My sort of interpretation of it was like, the idealized version of their partners, but those idealized versions don't know each other. Like Sophie too doesn't know Ethan too, but then down the line there are hints that like, hang on.
In general, the rules of this universe are very like we're playing fast and loose. You know, like it's like Calvin and Hobbes, how they have Calvin Ball, where they just like new rule. It kind of feels a little like that.
I know, and I do feel like that's due to the improvisational aspect of the movie. I know they probably did have set sort of goals that they wanted to achieve with the characters and the plot, but I do feel like they came up with a premise and they thought, how can we explore this premise? So first of all, they're freaked out and they leave, which is like the thing you should do. You should always leave.
The characters are super logical in this film.
But they think about it, and it's really interesting as well how Ethan and Sophie react to this weird premise as well. Like Sophie wants to try it out. She wants to see how it turns out with Ethan too, whereas Ethan, one, doesn't want anything with Sophie too.
Doesn't trust it, doesn't see anything in it. And like, I think it's fascinating because Sophie, one, she's like trying to recapture something in this house. Yeah. And so is Ethan, right? But he wants something that is real and is not willing to give up himself to get it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No.
Like he wants two things at the same time, and she just wants him to be essentially what the clone gives her, right? Which is like fully earnest and like owning up to his shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. And Ethan just wants to figure out what the hell is going on.
Yeah.
He's just like, something's not right. And it's definitely not a parallel version of Sophie. Something else is happening.
Right.
Which is, yeah, exactly. Like, it's something I would probably do as well. Like, I'm not just going to accept, okay, let's just try it out. And I'm just going to...
Yeah, he does not want to lean into it at all. Which they kind of parallel. So I mentioned the Texas Hold'em game.
Yes.
They have the exact same reactions in this terms of this poker game as they do when they go and start seeing that there's doppelgangers. Like, Ethan doesn't want to play. He thinks the whole thing is stupid. He like wants to sit out completely. And Sophie is like in it, even though the game itself is not really real, right? Like,
true, yeah.
They're just playing at something, but she's finding a pleasure in it, right?
Yeah.
In the fantasy. She wants to live in the fantasy.
She does, yeah. But even though there are so many red flags, is what
many
that pop up. Like,
well, even though it's massively disingenuous to live in the fantasy, right? Like, she has that whole confrontation scene with Sophie too in the kitchen.
Yes.
Where she's like, well, what are you the most scared about right now? Are you scared about losing your husband to me, or are you scared that you are going to lose this fantasy version of your husband? You know, what scares you more? And you can see the look on her face when she realizes that it's the fantasy that she really wants in a lot of ways. And that is why she's scared. And like, I don't know. It's more complicated than you would kind of think it to be. And I think the strength of this movie in general lies in those moments, right? Like those really interesting character moments of what do these people want right here and now, right? More than the lore around why are there doppelgangers, why is any of this happening? Like, that part of the movie is not great for me. But where the movie succeeds are in those moments of like, what does this person care about? You know, why are these people who are so clearly like hurting from each other, why are they still trying to make this work? Why do they care about each other? And like, why are they going through all of this? You know? Yeah.
So there are sort of these, I think you mentioned before, like these rules of how this universe works. So only one character can go into the guest house at a time. So when Sophie goes in, she sees Ethan too, and Ethan can't get in. Like it seems to be locked. It locks him out, and he can't seem to open the door. And then when he goes in, he sees Sophie too. They never see their doppelgangers when they go into the guest house.
Together.
It's always their sort of alternate partners that they see.
Yeah.
It's worth mentioning that Sophie too has a hairpin back. She seems much more sort of prim and proper with how she presents herself. And Ethan too, you mentioned the surfer hair, which is not really much different to how Mark Duplass looks normally.
No, it's not.
Yeah. And also he has no glasses, which is like hilarious to me because
the glasses stuff
doesn't make
hilarious.
that much of a difference, honestly.
Sophie thinks he looks so different without his glasses.
Yeah. I know. It's like, it's not okay. It's not that much different.
He's just a guy.
Yeah.
He's still just a guy.
Yeah. But I think she's just, she is craving Ethan to be a good husband and to be different, I think. And so any difference for her is a good difference. Like
well, I mean, she also clearly wants him to loosen up a little bit and be a little bit more like her. And he's looking for somebody to tighten up a little bit and be more like him as well, right?
That's true.
Like, they're kind of parallel their own personalities in some ways.
Yeah. So this kind of parallel realities universe starts to unravel when Ethan gets a phone call. He gets these missed messages, these voicemails from his family saying, "Hey, why did you call me at this time? This is some information that you asked about. This is where you grew up," and that sort of thing. And it's like, hang on, why is he getting these messages? And then we find out So big reveal here. These are not doppelgangers of Ethan and Sophie, and these are complete different strangers that just look like Ethan and Sophie. They're not the same people whatsoever. They don't have any memories, right? They don't have
this is the part of the movie that I am like, I don't know what the fuck is happening anymore.
Yeah. Right.
So Ethan goes into this recording booth. Why is this here?
I know. This was just like, surely they could have had something a little bit less convenient than
it was it's nonsense. So he goes into the recording booth.
Yeah.
He sees a computer full of files from other couples who have used this vacation spot. He, for some reason, him and Sophie's file is in the trash can. File. Why is theirs the only one that's trashed? If this has been happening to all these people, it doesn't make any sense. And then he pulls open the file and we hear this like recording going on of what sounds like other couples' voices slowly becoming Ethan and Sophie's voice. Yeah. Right? And then like a scene or two later, alternate reality Sophie pops up and is basically like, our whole gig was that we were going to trick you into, we were going to take your place, me and Ethan. Yeah. Right? But how? Yeah. Like, I know. You were going to seduce each other's partner into making them stay? Like, how do you have the power to let people in and out? Why would Ted Danson give that power to you and not keep it to himself? Like, there's the premise of, like, what's happening here makes no sense.
No, I mean, you kind of have to just accept it as, like, it's just sci-fi, it's just like, how do these people become these doppelgangers? Like how do they look and sound exactly like these people?
How do they have all of the same characteristics that they want out of a partner? How do they know that part? And how do they talk like them as well? Like, if I became you, Isaac, I wouldn't talk like you. I would talk like me. I would use the same words I would use. Like, you wouldn't know my entire history either. They know each other's backstories so intimately. Like,
surely they would know within the first 10 minutes of talking to each other that, hang on, you don't know anything about me. Right. You don't do anything that you normally do. You don't talk how you normally do. Yes. Yeah. But I feel like maybe they tried to explain it, I think, in one of the recordings where Ted Danson, so he's the therapist that sends the couple to this retreat. He's the mastermind behind all of this. It sounds like he's training them about where they're from. Like, you grew up in Arizona, and then they go, I grew up in blah, 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 Arizona. Yeah. I feel like...
We're supposed to believe they're that good of actors?
Yeah, I mean, and also that's a lot of information to sort of remember, like, everything about your childhood and where you work. And
also they clearly don't know everything because fake Ethan has to call up real Ethan's like family and ask, where do I live and stuff like that. Like, I feel like the movie would make more sense if that scene was just completely cut and it was just these mystical twins, right? That like are just are embodiments of these alternate personalities that they want to see in each other. But because they're like another couple, quote unquote, it loses a lot of a juice for me.
I know. It doesn't make a lot of sense because you can't just become a person. And no, there's also mention about clothes being stolen from Ethan. Yeah. So they're stealing they don't have any of their clothes. So they're stealing clothes from the original couple so that they can look like them. Yeah. And at one point, Ethan too throws his sweater at Sophie, and she's like, "Where'd you get the sweater from?" Like, and he's like, "Well,
the sweater subplot is really like, what are we doing here?"
Yeah. Oh yeah.
In those moments, you feel the improvisation for sure.
Yeah. The aim of the trapped couple is to break up the new couple so that the new couple
Or the new trapped.
Yeah, the new trapped, and then the trapped couple escape.
Right.
But the rule is you have to be in a loving relationship to escape. Is that
guess
how it works?
That's the thing that I really don't understand more than anything else is you have to leave as a pair for sure.
Yes.
That has to happen. Do you have to leave as a loving couple? Or so in my brain, here's how I have logicked this movie out.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
I have logicked this movie out in the way that, okay, so I think that the doppelgangers, right, are just permanently trapped.
Okay.
Like, I think all of the other woo, where like so the doppelgangers are trying to escape and they can leave or not leave. I think the doppelgangers have to stay on the facility, and they do all of this other stuff to remind Sophie and Ethan that they do have deep feelings for each other. And so the people who leave the compound are the real Sophie and Ethan. Like, that's the only way I can rationalize
I don't know whether that's
the
right,
finale.
though. I feel like, but the end, okay, so the big reveal at the end is Ethan and Sophie leaves, but Ethan leaves with doppelganger Sophie, right?
So
because she makes him bacon, right?
Right. So they do this thing where they wake up in the bed and she leaves to go cook him bacon, right? Which famously, real Sophie would never do. Doing. Yeah. She would never do it, right? Ethan is stunned when he first encounters fake Sophie because she cooks him bacon. Sophie would never do this, right? I think what the ending is getting at, I think, this is the only way that I can rationalize it and come away from this movie not being mad, is that real Sophie has moved past Ethan's transgression of his infidelity and is truly looking to change and come and meet him on a common ground. Okay. Right. But the tragedy of all of that is that Ethan will always wonder, right, how truthful that is because of his own failures in the relationship. But at the end, he like pauses as soon as Sophie says it. Yeah. Right. Because he's got this moment where you as an audience member and him are like, is this real Sophie or is this ideal Sophie? Yeah. Right. But I think that he also, in order to maintain a healthy relationship, just has to accept whatever version of Sophie this is and just go with it. Right. And like, that is how good relationships are manifested. Right. People choosing each other in those moments, right, of shaky trust. But like, also, I think the movie could also very well be trying to be like, this is Sophie 2, she escaped, and real Sophie and fake Ethan are back on the ranch. Yeah.
I do think that's what the movie is saying. I really do think that. If it is saying that, and he's with Sophie 2 instead of Sophie 1, it makes no sense that they were able to escape because they don't love each other. Ethan 1 doesn't love Sophie 2. He
gives her that big speech, right? He finally... so when the Ethans have a scuffle,
yes,
right?
They do.
They have a little rough about, and real Ethan finally says to Sophie, I know that I'm a difficult person, that I really failed you, but I really want to be with you. And she has a moment where she softens to him for a second there, right? Also, in all of this, the Sophies are wearing the same outfit. Yes. Right?
Yeah. I mean, we should backtrack just a little bit for listeners that don't know. There is a moment in the film where the doppelgangers meet up with the real couple, and you have all four people in one room having a conversation. And there's a point where the Ethans have a scuffle. Ethan 2 is like, fuck you guys, and tries to run out of
Yeah.
parallel weird portal area that they're in.
And in my
but he can't
head,
leave. Yeah.
fake. I feel like, okay, so fake Ethan definitely can't leave.
No.
Right? Because he doesn't care about anybody. he's not pairing up with anybody.
Yeah,
he's
manipulating. He's trying to manipulate Sophie. But I don't know. I think he does love Sophie 1. I think he does fall in love with her because there's that moment where Sophie 2 pretends to be Sophie 1 and to say, you know, I want to live with you, Ethan 2. And then Ethan 2's like, yeah, I want to live with you. But he thinks he's talking to Sophie 1. So I do feel like he does love Sophie 1. I think he has fallen for her.
I mean, he definitely has, but then he still can't leave by himself.
He can't leave by himself. Yeah, he has to leave with Sophie 1, I guess.
He would have to leave with Sophie 1.
Yeah.
Right? But I think so Sophie 2. See, this ending is fucked up.
It doesn't quite work because there's a moment as well where Ethan 1 is in the guest house and he can't leave.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't, because his relationship with Sophie 1 has broken up now. So he can't leave. But then he leaves with Sophie 2. But he barely even had any time with Sophie 2.
Which is why I think it's Sophie 1.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, that makes sense, but I don't know whether the movie wants that to be what's happening. I don't know.
The finale is I did watch this movie 2.5 times. One of the times I was not fully paying attention. I was making dinner.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I felt like the rewatch of Watch 1 was like a nostalgia. I was like,
yeah.
The second watch, I was like, okay, I think I understand what's happening, but I really don't. The ending is not clear, and I think that is purposeful.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, the whole movie is very vibes based in general.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely.
You know?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I mean, another thing that I couldn't figure out as well, because once the reveal of the doppelganger is not actually being versions of them, of the original couple, and just complete strangers. So when they go into the guest house to have their sessions with their alternate partners, like, where's the other partner? Like when Sophie goes with Ethan 2, where's Sophie 2? She hiding in a closet somewhere? She like
they disappear.
Yeah, like it's not like
it's like the OK Go videos. They just they just have a pillar.
Yeah, like she's just like hiding somewhere, waiting for them to leave, and then when she hears Ethan come in, she like pops out. But there's that scene where she's making bacon for Ethan, and then Ethan goes out and tries to get Sophie 1 to go into the guest house with him to show him the bacon, but the bacon's gone. And the smell of the bacon's gone.
The smell of the bacon.
Like, what did she do? She quickly hid the bacon and, like waved the air to get the smell out.
Frantic fanning.
Bunch of Glad, spray to...
The smell of bacon is gone, but Pledge is very strong.
Yeah. Like, that doesn't quite work. Like, it works for the whole parallel reality sort of explanation, but it doesn't work for, like, these are actual physical strangers in this house. Yeah.
That's truly my biggest beef with this movie is that. I love so much about this movie. I love the hearts of the characters. I think they're really interesting. I think it's got a fun sense of humor about it. It's so naturalistic with the dialogue. Like, all of the things, like, it's pretty too. Like, the shots are basic, but they're pretty. Anamorphic lenses. They got the little woo 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 on the corners. It feels like a mystical sci-fi place. But the second they do that, like, this is what it is, it loses me completely. Like, I hate that part.
Yeah.
Now it's time for random trivia.
Hey Dan, I heard you have some fun trivia about this movie. Lay it on me.
All right. Well, we haven't talked about it, but this is 100% a nepotism movie because Charlie McDowell, the director, his real dad is Malcolm McDowell, but his father is Ted Danson, who's in this movie.
Right.
His mother's Mary Steenburgen. You have also Rooney Mara, who was his then girlfriend, being the costume designer under the pseudonym Brie Daniel.
Rooney Mara, the actress?
I think so. I have to double check that.
Fascinating.
Hang on. I just double check that. Yes, I have double checked that. Yes, it is the same Rooney Mara. And one of the voices you hear, so Ethan's mother leaves a voicemail. So that voice is Mary Steenburgen, which is Charlie McDowell, the director's mother. And also Charlie McDowell does do a cameo as one of the voices heard in the files that Ethan finds on the computer. But yeah, it's definitely a nepotism movie. It's
Look, you gotta get your friends.
yeah, it's Charlie McDowell's first feature, so you get help when you can. You've got famous actor parents, of course they're gonna help you out.
Yeah, if I had an in with Ted Danson to be in my movie, I would get Ted Danson.
Yeah, 100%.
Use what you got at the end of the day.
Also, Charlie McDowell is married to Lily Collins, and she is the daughter of Phil Collins. So their
Wow.
get-togethers at Thanksgiving must be just a who's who of famous people.
It's a crazy cooking.
Yeah, I know. Right.
So anyway, that's our trivia.
Yeah, that's actually Definitely the performances are the highlight for me of this movie. The fact that you have two very distinct versions of each character. Ethan 2 is very different to Ethan 1.
Yes.
Like how he presents himself, how he even walks and talks is very different. And same with Sophie 1 and Sophie 2. They are very distinct characters, and it's amazing seeing actors being able to play completely different versions of the same character, but that they're still the same character.
It's so subtle. The changes they feel so similar, but they are still so different. I really think that it's kind of a brilliant turn for both of them, especially Mark Duplass. Duplass is eating this movie alive. He's got all the funniest bits.
Yeah.
He gets to be both this kind of sniveling little scumbag and also this hey charmer.
I don't have glasses,
yeah I don't have glasses and I do push-ups. Look at me. I get to make aardvark metaphors.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
He gets to do so much in it, and it really showcases a range that I found super impressive.
Yeah, because Mark Duplass, I know who he is, and I've seen Creep. Have you seen Creep, the horror movie?
I haven't.
Yeah, it's a found footage horror movie, and he's super creepy, and I can't not see him as super creepy now in everything he is, because he's just get away from that man in that movie Creep. And I do know him from the Mindy Project as well, of all things. Of course,
yeah.
And Elisabeth Moss is incredible. I love her, and there's a show called Top of the Lake, which is a New Zealand show. She plays a questionable New Zealand accent, but she's still good. I still like her in it, and she's really.
I love her in Invisible Man.
Yeah, Invisible Man is
so good,
amazing, and also The Handmaid's Tale. I haven't seen The Handmaid's Tale, but yes, it's also very good, and it's just them. Pretty much 99% of the movie is just Mark Duplass and Elisabeth Moss, and it's powerful performances from both of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you really care about them as people, and you see them as fully encompassed individuals, and they feel very lived in. Even when the improvisation, because sometimes I will say the improvisation gives away that this movie is being acted sometimes, right? They kind of stumble here and there, or trip over each other a little bit, but it almost lends itself to endear you to them more.
I think it does, yeah.
Yeah. It makes them feel more tangible in some kind of weird ephemeral way. I don't even know how that is true, but it is true.
Yeah. And I feel Yeah, it is. It's like, I guess it's a toxic relationship, but there are times where you see Ethan 1 and Sophie 1 having a really touching moment together.
Yeah.
You do see that their relationship can work in some respect. They fight a lot, but at the same time, there are moments where it's like, yeah, I can see why they are together in the first place. Even at the start when they go into the pool and try to recreate that scene that how they met or something, they would jump into the pool. It's like it's nice. Like there's obviously some love there.
Totally.
Yeah, you've got the Ethan one being like an asshole and not listening to her and trying to figure this out. Sophie's not great either. She's like pretty much abandoning her husband for an idealized version of her husband. Like that's also not good. Like you shouldn't do that.
She's trying to live in a fantasy world.
Yeah.
You know, like at one point Ethan is like, what are you gonna do? You're just gonna live here forever? Like you just
I know.
Like not go home.
I know. And she accepts that. She's like, I'm not leaving. It's like, what do you mean? Yeah. Like you can't just live in this weird guest house forever. That's not.
And then there's this whole issue with like, okay, so here's something that about this movie that I find like a little tightrope walky.
Oh yes.
Is the sexual relationships that she has in the house, right? Elisabeth Moss, the first night that she is there with fake Ethan, they end up having sex, right? But she doesn't know that's not her husband, right? So, like, essentially she's assaulted by this man. And then later, Ethan, real Ethan, does the same thing to her. She thinks she's cheating on her husband with fake Ethan. But it's real Ethan. So, like, it's all so, like, I don't even know what to make of it.
Well, I think she wants to leave the relationship. I think she just hasn't accepted that. Like, she feels offended that she's been tricked into sleeping with her real husband.
Yes.
You shouldn't be offended by that. You should be offended that you were tricked into sleeping with a stranger that looks like your husband.
The first part. Yeah, but she's so okay with it because at that point she feels like it is Ethan, but it's the Ethan that she wants.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, and but he still tricked her. You know what I mean?
I know.
Like, it was still done under false pretense. Like, it's very, like, I don't know. She Elisabeth Moss's character in this is going through a lot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, she
know?
is. Yeah. She wants to accept the fantasy. She disregards everything bad about what's happening to have the ideal husband. That's what she wants.
Yes. Yeah, she doesn't want to live in the realities. And Ethan, all he wants to do is live in the reality. Right?
Yeah.
And that's what's driving him insane.
Yeah.
Like, you know, he's hiding phones and he's spying and he's, you know, being a little freak.
Yeah. I really like the music in this movie.
Yes. Great segue.
It's done by the composers Danny Benzi and Saundra Jerians.
Yeah.
It did really remind me of Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind. It's kind of like this quite sort of comedic but uneasy and slightly disturbing sort of sound to the music. It's all like
lots of cacophonous banging.
It's a lot of like small sort of groups of instruments. So it's not a full orchestra. It's like a small sort of chamber group of like solo strings. You hear like clarinet. I think it's a bass clarinet. You hear Celeste. I think some sort of plucked guitar or something like that. And there's a lot of woodwind. Yeah, I really love scores like this. This is like my favorite type of scores. It's like slightly unnerving, but kind of whimsical at the same time.
Yes, it's got big like Swiss Army Man kind of energy too, you know, where it just builds to like that big crescendo finale moment where they're all trying to escape and you're hearing all of the other themes and moments kind of collide in this big kind of wall of sound, you know. I mean, I like that.
I love that clarinet line where it's like doom 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 doom. It's just like this really kind of it works so well. I really enjoy it. And yeah, it's something about small groups of instruments that I prefer to like orchestra. Like I think it would have been too like cheesy having a full orchestra. with strings and stuff. I don't know.
They probably couldn't afford it.
Well, yeah, that too. And also, if they leaned into the more like horror sound of like music, I think it wouldn't have worked. I think it would have been too cheesy as well. Like I like that they kept it kind of light. Like it was kind of like, this is like a fucked up situation, but it's a bit weird and quirky.
Yes.
Rather than like, get out of there now, sort of thing. Which they should have done.
Yeah, it's true. Look, if this movie could have ended like minute 20 or whatever, where they're at the cafe, where Elisabeth Moss could have just been like, that was nice. I'm sad. Like, time to get a divorce.
Yeah.
Coming to you live from the movie Oubliette Theatre, it's the prestigious Mobley Awards.
Okay, it's a movie award where we nominate our favorite bacon-covered parts of the film in a number of weirdly perfect husband categories.
Best quote.
Gotta be, there's some fucking weird Twilight Zone shit going on in here, and I'm trying to get a handle on it, okay? I liked that one a lot.
That's Ethan, right? Yeah.
That's Ethan. He's like trying to convince Elisabeth Moss that something weird is happening in the guest house.
Yeah, I do agree. Ethan has the best lines. One of my favorite lines is when Ethan is talking to Sophie 2 after he's figured out that Sophie 1 is like falling for Ethan 2, and he says, I gotta say, it's bad enough that I'm losing my wife to a mirror image of me who happens to be like 20% cooler and 20% more emotionally involved than me. Now I have to sit and look at a mirror image of exactly who I'm losing. Oof, that's
brutal.
Yeah, it's that's poignant. It's great. It's such a good line.
Really is.
Best hair or costume.
I feel like there's not a lot going on with here in costume. It's quite normal.
It's very just regular.
Yeah.
2010s fashion.
It is.
I will say Ethan's glasses,
All right.
We can shout out Ethan's glasses and surfer hair. They're very like pointed in the movie about him,
Yeah.
They do a lot of work.
I do feel like the glasses are like almost more 2000s, because I was going to say they were almost 2010s, but they were like, it's almost like he's wearing something that was trendy like 10 years ago, and that's what's not cool about Ethan. Like,
yes, the best costume is the fact that Ethan kind of looks like a scrub.
Yeah,
like in
definitely.
his vibe.
Yeah, he's not trying at all. He's just like, I wore this 10 years ago. Like, I'm not going to change.
Yes, 100%, 100%.
I mean, here I did want to point out was Sophie's kind of, I think it's called a bob. It's like an old Hollywood bob that she has, which is like this kind of short hair. I don't know. It's not anything exceptional though. It's not like, wow, check out Sophie's bob. It's just like, but it's still like, it's good.
Most 2010s moment.
At one point, they pull out like an iPhone 3 to use as a timer. You can see the old OS.
Yeah.
So it's probably my 2010 biggest 2010s moment.
Yeah. Technology is definitely a dead giveaway of the decade.
Yeah.
I feel like you already kind of mentioned it, but the kind of doppelganger movies were really big around that time. Like, so the ones I found were The Double in 2013, Coherence in 2013, Enemy in 2014, Us in 2019, and Moon is 2009, but it's almost 2010, so I feel like that kind of counts as close.
I also wrote some of these down, and I think we should make sure that this is included. The Muppets Most Wanted, the sequel to the Muppet movies.
Oh, yes?
Core premise is that Kermit's got a doppelganger.
Oh, really? That's amazing.
The world's most dangerous frog.
Yeah. Amazing.
Favorite scene.
I really like the finale.
Yes.
It is really confusing, right? And I don't know, like, depending on your read of the movie, and depending on whether or not Sophie 2 escaped or if it's the real Sophie, right?
Yeah.
I feel like it's gonna massively color how you feel about it, right? But I feel like the version of the movie that I choose to believe, which could totally be a misinterpretation of that it is the real Ethan and the real Sophie.
Yeah.
I think that sentiment is really affecting in that moment of pause to be like, is this really my wife?
Yeah.
You know? And then the fact that he gets up and chooses to go to her also really works for me.
Yeah.
Like, it could be interpreted as like a last like horror twist of the knife.
Yeah.
Or it could be a kind of like emotional moment. And I think it works either way, but I much prefer the emotional moment. I like My Little World.
Yeah. You want your fantasy, don't you?
I do! I want my fantasy!
Yeah.
Most cliche moment.
Doubles trying to replace each other is my biggest cliche.
Yes.
Every time there's twins in a movie of any, every time there's a doppelganger, it's like one of them's got to kill the other one, or one of them's got to be the other one.
Yeah, only one can exist. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't just hang out and have a good time.
No. No, you don't. Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, cliche for me was the scene with the computer. Just like, this is just like too convenient. This is too handy to just be lying there. Like, why would you do that? Why would the therapist just like, I'm just going to leave all the evidence to figure this out right
on
here.
site at the vacation home?
Yeah.
Take your briefcase with you, man.
Yeah.
Best special effect.
Honestly, every time at the end of the movie where there are two of the same actors on screen
Yeah.
at the same time,
I was going to say that
it's so
too.
seamless. It's really good.
I think we take it for granted now. Like,
Yeah.
because they do it so well. I don't know how they do it.
Right.
And I don't know how the actors act it either.
Right.
I mean, obviously, there are scenes where there'll be like an Ethan double. I mean, like a Mark Duplass double where it's just like over the shoulder shot where you can only
Sure.
see like hair and shoulder. So it could be anyone. But they do have a scuffle as well. Like, I just can't imagine how they like filming that would be. They would have to block it out exactly. They would have to do the same scene like twice.
Right.
From different angles with Mark Duplass on one side and on the other side and Elisabeth on. It's just, yeah.
And it flows so well. Like, you
Yeah.
don't feel it.
Yeah.
Favorite sound effect.
Favorite sound effect was they have like a kind of like a hazy, like kind of finger on a water bowl sound every time towards the beginning where they go into the guest house. It's like a little ooh,
Oh, yeah.
to kind of be like, you're entering the Twilight Zone.
Okay.
I liked that. I thought that was effective. It might be part of the score, I'm not sure. But my least favorite sound effect was when fake Ethan hits the barrier and it makes a loud bing. It about blew my speakers out.
Yeah.
It was so loud. It wasn't. It's not that it's technically bad. It's that it hurt my ears.
Yeah. It's loud. It's really loud. And it's also not what you expect because it's kind of a bell, almost like a sine tone sound. And it's
Yes.
really loud. Like,
It comes out in like, yeah.
my sound that I wanted to point out, I only notice when I watch the movie with headphones on, but every time they are talking to a doppelganger character, there's a very, very subtle, like kind of atmospheric, almost like a wind sound, like a. It's very low in the mix, and you can pretty much only hear it with headphones on. And it's only in the scenes where they're talking to a doppelganger. Only.
Fascinating.
And every time it's just Ethan 1 talking to Sophie 1, they don't have that sound. But then when they're talking to Ethan 2 or Sophie 2, there's that sound. And it's like a really subtle way of showing, this is not the real person.
Right.
Most funniest moment.
I think I did kind of mention it, but in the Uno scene where fake Ethan is flirting with real Sophie and they're doing the whole fake Uno match, at one point Ethan does go, Jesus, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like he physically cannot their little like cutesy bullshit anymore.
Yeah.
And I died laughing
Yeah.
because I feel like I have been that person so
Oh, wow. Yeah.
you know, have you ever been near a couple that is just sweet nothing into each other's ears and you're just like, give it a rest, man?
Yeah. I mean, it's even worse because it's his actual wife as well.
No!
Yeah. It's awful.
It's a lot.
It's awful. Funniest moment for me is when Sophie walks into the guest house to meet up with Ethan too, and he reveals a painting of her. And
yeah.
it's just awful. It's really bad. I mean, it's not like
He was trying to get at Degas.
like it's like almost a good painting, but she's cross-eyed. And it's like, what? What did you do? And yeah, I lost it. It's
It's a very good moment.
yeah. All right, that's our movie awards.
Woo!
Yeah.
Hi, this is Vincenzo Natali. I'm the director of Cube and Splice, and you're listening to Movie Oubliette.
Okay, it's final verdict time. Should The One I Love be liberated from its guest house prison and receive stellar acclaim, or should it be pushed back into the oubliette to spend the rest of its existence trapped with the wrong doppelganger partner and fade into obscurity? So, Isaac, our Conrad stand-in for today, you presented us with The One I Love. Should people watch it?
You know, I think it's super worth people's time, right? Like in the spoiler-filled section, you know, we kind of mentioned there are flaws, right?
Yes.
That might make it more unpalatable for some, especially if you are a plot person. If you are like ride or die with those plots, man, you're gonna have a rough time with The One I Love.
Yeah.
But I think thematically and from a character perspective, it's so strong and so compelling that like it would be a shame for it to rot away in the oubliette. So I say we set it free.
Yeah.
What about you, though?
There are a lot of plot holes. Like when you really sit down, especially on the second watch, it's just so much to pick apart. Like, that doesn't make sense. Where are the doppelgangers hiding? How they get rid of the bacon? Like,
you can't have an Ethan mindset with it.
Yeah.
You have to have a Sophie mindset with it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you have to accept the fantasy. You just have to.
Yeah.
Like, it's very meta in that respect. I think I do accept the fantasy. Like, I like movies where like it's a slightly weird premise and let's explore it as much as we can. And having just two characters with like some really good dialogue and sort of trying to work out like how are they going to get out of this, like what's going to happen, was really interesting to me. I feel like I haven't seen a doppelganger movie like this before, like where it's very just centered in one location. Okay, apart from Coherence, but they had more characters and that was just like a million different parallel realities, whereas this is just like trying to figure it out with
Very stripped down.
Yeah, very stripped down. And I really enjoy that. I love the sort of independent movie aspect of it, and just keeping it simple and just having really good dialogue and interactions with the character. So yes, I would set it free as well.
Awesome.
Yeah. But we do have to check in with our patrons just to see
Of course.
what they thought of it. Hello, Gary.
Good afternoon.
Can we have the patrons vote, please?
They set it free.
Love that.
Yeah, so they did want to set it free. 67% wanted to set it free, so it wasn't a huge majority. So we had
controversy on the Patreon.
So we had Chazilla say The One I Love isn't for everybody. I'm just not interested in watching a couple be selfish and fight for 90 minutes. Both characters were unlikable. In spite of all that, I enjoyed the cosmic horror elements. The One I Love is worth the watch. If just for that alone, it also provokes some interesting internal moral questions. Jasmine said, I sure wish that I could meet my doppelganger, who is me with only past memories and is blissfully unaware of the existence of the one I love, with its aggravating characters that are grating when they are bickering and are unbelievable and sickening when they are being schmaltzy. I would have deep conversations and play some Go Fish with my doppelganger. Then I would Shanghai her, dump her into a pit of quicksand and assume her identity. Only then could I tell people that I proudly have never watched the tripe that is the one I love. So Jasmine was not a fan of this movie.
Brutal.
Yeah,
Brutal, but fair.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, I know. It's a flawed movie. It really is. Like, it's not perfect,
Yeah.
but I feel like the characters hold it together for me. And
Totally.
I don't know. I kind of like unlikable characters. I like marriages that fall apart in movies for some reason. I don't know why. I think it's fascinating. But anyway,
Absolutely agree.
we will set it free. Goodbye, the one I love.
See ya.
Time to get some bacon.
Thanks, Isaac, for standing in for Conrad. This is your second episode for the year, isn't it? You were here for Redline?
Yes,
Yeah.
I was. We did anime last time.
Yes.
I tortured Conrad with some anime.
Yeah.
But it's always such a pleasure to be on. I love you guys and I love this podcast so much. So thanks for having me on again.
Yeah. Well, where can our listeners follow you on other platforms?
Well, I'm Isaac last name, just about every single place in the world. TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. Instagram, I also have a second Instagram now called Isaac Movie Rec.
Oh, yes.
Where I've been posting a lot of reels.
Oh, great.
Kind of been putting more stuff online lately. So recently I put out a video about OK Go. I have a series called Your Favorite Directors as Rappers, where I compare the careers of
Okay.
famous rappers to famous directors.
Ah,
like Brian De
cool.
Palma's like MF Doom.
Oh, yeah.
And Martin Scorsese's like Kendrick Lamar.
Cool.
So if you want to hear about that stuff, you can go to my YouTube channel.
That's great.
We're punching away at the male pregnancy channels little by little.
Yeah.
So
Great.
who also is called Isaac last name.
Yes. Listeners, if you don't know that, avoid
they've
that
got
one.
250 subs. I've got like 150. So, let's keep chipping
Yeah.
away at that number. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Great. Yeah. Can't wait to check out your more recent stuff.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. And listeners, if you want to follow Movie Oubliette, we are everywhere as Movie Oubliette, and you can email us at movie.oubliette@gmail.com. Thanks again to all our patrons that have supported us on Patreon. There are lots of bonus material that you can check out, and our Movie Award extendeds are always like way longer than they are in the episode. In the episode, they're only like 10 minutes. In the movie extended, they've been like 30 minutes averaging, like basically half an episode of Movie Awards. So become a patron to check that out. And also thank you so much to our executive producer patrons, Serge from Cold Crash Pictures, Isaac Sutton, Dr. Doggy, Gisela, Nick Hardy, Ryan A. Potter, and Iconographer. Huge thanks. We have merchandise, Redbubble, YouTube channel, and give us a rating and review if you haven't already. All right. We should reveal what is on our next episode.
Yeah. Give me the preview. Hit me with the preview.
So we are going to be doing a movie from 1982, so the 80s.
Right in the pocket.
Yep, right in the pocket. It's the sci-fi cult classic, Tron.
What?
Yeah.
No way. Really?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it did do badly when it first
It was
was
like- it was a
released. It was
flop.
a huge flop. So that's our reasoning for doing it. Also, there's a new Tron movie coming out. So
I was like, it's gonna hit the right time.
Yeah. So it's directed by, those who don't know, it's directed by Steven Lisberger, stars Jeff Bridges. It's become a bit of a cult classic, but I haven't seen it for a while. I've only seen it one time.
Yeah.
I was not a huge fan of it. So it's gonna be interesting to revisit and to also hear what Conrad thinks about it as well. But yes, we will be doing Tron in our next episode.
Awesome. That's so cool. I can't wait to hear that. Y'all better be tuning into that one.
Yeah. Can't wait for that. Listeners, that's it for another episode. Thanks again, Isaac. And
yeah, thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye.
We review the films others tend to forget. Come with us and open up the movie Oubliette.
Yes, we also had a fantastic time when we did Ecstasy at Lollapalooza, but we're not going to do that every day of our lives because you'll die.